I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do, to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love, those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug, those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted, to grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Oh yeah, yo, what up, Pops? I do this for you. Shout out to everybody being here tonight. I know it's Monday Night Football. You guys know I don't watch NFL games as closely as I do the college games, so I don't even care that it's Monday Night Football. I just appreciate you guys being here with me tonight, and we can talk about it, everything that's going on in the world of sports. Obviously, the format of the show, is ACC Monday. So we talk about the ACC today. If you ask me any questions not pertaining to the ACC, I hope my moderators just shut you up, mute you, and send you away. We don't get down like that. Keep it specific, stay focused, keep it in scope, and we can keep the show moving. We can enjoy the rest of our night. Thank you guys for being here, though. If you have any questions about Group of Five, I did a Group of Five show yesterday. You can find it on the YouTube live stream. Go to the homepage, YouTube, Rico Knows. Go to the homepage. You'll see videos, shorts, and then a tab that says live. Click on live, and you'll find it. One thing I owe you guys is an update to our fantasy team. So after I talk about this first story, I'm going to go check our fantasy. And when I mean fantasy is our college pick'em. Week 2 is complete. We got to see the leaderboard. But here we go. If you're currently watching us on TikTok, I don't reply to you. I don't read your comments. I don't see you. I'm over here on YouTube doing the live stream. If you want to join the show, see the graphics on the screen, the ticker, everything I'm showing, just click on the link, jump on over. All right. Anyways, here we go. World of sports. What's trending today? Well, first and foremost, Kevin Porter Jr. charged with assault and strangulation. I don't even know how you get arrested and get to stay home. But apparently a 26-year-old female sustained injuries and a laceration to the side of her face, complaining about pain in her neck, my back. This is crazy, y'all. Stop hitting women. She had to go to the hospital. This is absurd. I'm going to make a video about this later, but if you were a first-round draft pick in 2019 and you're doing this, jeopardizing your entire life, that's absurd. That is absurd. You already got traded once because you didn't live up to the hype. You can't be doing this shit. Kevin Porter, I'm putting you on blast. As soon as I get off this show, I'm making a video about it. Stop getting arrested for domestic violence, guys. Don't strike a woman. Just leave. What is it? Was she cheating on you? Roll out, bro. I'm sorry to hear about it. Jamal and Marcus, they hit that, tore it up, and left you feeling little. I get it, man. I get it. You got your pride is hurt. She caught you cheating? Now you're hitting her? Now you're insecure? I don't know. I want to know what's going on. I need more details. Anyways, I told you guys we're going to go see what's going on with this college pick'em. Let's go do it. College pick'em 2023. I hope I'm logged in. Yep, we can see the groups here. Let's go to groups. Let's go to Rico Knows. If you didn't know, we're one of the top groups in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 8th in the entire world. Shout out to Ohio State and Michigan fans for trying to catch us. They're not. They're not. Bama fans, nobody can beat us. Rico Knows. We're top 10 in the world. Tell me ESPN doesn't know about me. Tell me ESPN doesn't know about us. But now, the leaderboard. Robert is killing it. Robert is 18-2 after 2 weeks. Dad tired of 10. That dude is 17-3. Everybody's here. Let me see if I recognize any names. Juice Box is still here. 2 girlies, 1 cup. Hell of a name, bruh. Hell of a name. Boyle Langer's picks. Don't know what's going on there. Another Robert Lopez. Robert Lopez is out here. I think he was here in week 1. It's pretty good stuff. The Bills, Toasty Knows. Toasty Guest. Man, Toasty's going back to back. There's my own twin brother, Morant's Rants on YouTube. Hey, just so you know, if you are in this leaderboard up at the top, there's Evan Kramer here. If you're anywhere near the top, you are in the 99.9 percentile. That means you're better than 99.9% of the people who did this damn thing. You guys are up here, bruh. But we got one clear leader, 104 points. He's doing it big. I can't even say this name down here, but there's Toasty Doesn't Know. Toasty Knows, Toasty Doesn't Know, Toasty Guest. Who is Toasty, bro? Toasty has 3 entries in the top 20, top 30. Toasty's killing it. Shout out to Toasty and D's and UT's. Tyler J, go Terps. Thank you guys for being here, all of you guys. Yes, you guys are beating me. I'm 13-7. 13-7. My best 2 brackets are 13-7. I have one called Rico Knows Upsets. All I do is predict upsets. That entire bracket is only upsets. It's 10-10. If you're losing to that bracket, I don't know what to tell you. I'm intentionally picking the upsets. That's wild. That's wild if you're losing to that one. The max points every week is 55. So, max points. Robert got max points in week 2. A lot of guys hit 10 out of 10 in week 2. You can see him here on the leaderboard. So, if you want to catch up, you got to go 10 out of 10. There's a 47 here. What did my brother do? A 49. 50 and a 49 back-to-back. Not bad. Look at me, bro. Had a hell of a week. Look at that recovery right there. 46. That's comparable. That's not bad. Shout out to you guys for playing, though. Hope you get your week 3 picks in, and you guys keep winning. Remember, $100 worth of merch going to the leader, going to the winner. Shout out to everybody. Let's talk about it. Another arrest. This time, Texas A&M. Texas A&M, you get the break speed off of you by Miami this weekend, and then Shamar Turner goes and gets a reckless driving charge. He thought he was at Georgia. $3,000 bond, no big deal. He's just driving reckless. It was back in August, though. They didn't arrest him until later. I don't know how that works. You know, I got a ticket in the mail just the other day. True story. You can ask him about this. We went on a vacation last month, just before the football season started. So a couple weeks ago, actually. We went from Virginia to Baltimore, D.C., and then we went up to New York City, and we were driving up the whole eastern seaboard. And before I picked her up, I got pulled over for speed, and I got a ticket. That ticket was like $170-something. So I paid that one. And then she goes and checks the mail. She shouldn't be checking the mail, but she checked the mail. And sure enough, another ticket, $100 in a construction zone in Baltimore. I never saw anybody. It was just the camera. Apparently, I was going 47 in a 30, and they got me for $100, flat fee. So tickets are out there. Guess what I've never gotten? Arrested. I've never gotten arrested for driving ridiculous. These guys, you get speeding tickets. We're all human. These guys are getting arrested. Ridiculous. Ex-NFLer Adam Pac-Man Jones, I just talked about it. I posted a video. I told Pat McAfee, bro, I'm ready. Get me on the show. I'll take this guy's seat. I can provide more input on every single game, every single player, every scenario. If you need a damn college football expert on your show, I'm the guy. Yo, Pat, hit me up. I'll probably do it for less than this guy's getting paid. I promise you that. I'll go half. I'll go half. Whatever this clown is getting paid, I'm doing half, and I'm not going to embarrass the brand by getting arrested on an airplane, inebriated at 6 a.m. in the morning on a Monday. How are you drunk on a Monday at 6 a.m.? It's a guy who relatively kept his nose clean after, getting a bouncer. I think he was handicapped for the rest of his life from the waist down after slamming a stripper's head on the floor because she touched his money in a strip club. You guys don't remember this? Pac-Man Jones went into a strip club. Yeah, he went in there with trash bags full of money, hefty bags full of money, but it was just for show. He had already paid 10 or 20 grand for the whole strip club for all his boys. They already paid a flat fee. So they just started throwing around ones, making it rain for the music video, just trying to make it look good. And one of the strippers reached down and started grabbing ones and stuffing them in her damn thong and G-string. He slammed her head on the damn floor. Then a bouncer stopped him from doing that. And whatever bouncer laid his hands on him, well, that guy ended up shot later that night. Go look up the details. So he's hurting and it's embarrassing. He's hurt and it's embarrassing. Stop getting arrested, guys. Shout out to Matt Rule. Matt Rule came out and said, hey, we're sticking with Jeff Sims as our starting quarterback. The only reason he wouldn't be our starting quarterback is if he's injured. He's leading the league. He's leading the world in turnovers. I'm telling you that right now. Jeff Sims got a long leash, bro. But you know what? Have you guys ever been in sports and you were hoping the guy in front of you got hurt so you could start? I don't know what that's like, but I got to imagine there's dudes sitting on benches right now. Maybe you're not wishing for an injury. Maybe you're wishing the guy will go out there and throw 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and maybe coach will stop believing in him and he'll give you a shot. What up, Ash? What up? My baby girl's right here. Maybe some of you guys are waiting for your moment. If the guy in front of you just plays bad enough, maybe coach will let you get in. How do you feel if you are a backup quarterback at Nebraska and the starter is out there terrible, 2 weeks in a row, just being terrible, and they still won't put you in? They won't give you a shot. Shout out to Heinrich Harburg. He's got 2 A's. Heinrich Harburg and Chubba Purdy, the backup quarterbacks for Nebraska, but they still aren't playing these guys. Not unless Sims gets hit by a car or something. It's pretty nuts. Shout out to them for having conviction and sticking with their starter. All right, today's ACC, so let's talk about it. ACC, the results from last week, just this weekend. Please get down, sweetie. Please, thank you. Go to mama. Obviously, Louisville went out there and stomped out Murray State. I still wasn't impressed. They weren't hitting on all cylinders. They still won 56-0. But when I looked at it, man, Jack Plummer just needs to get the ball to Jamari Thrash as often as possible. He's always open. Coleman's open, and he's just missing these guys. The two of them are so much better than every other receiver. It's insane. Florida State covers the spread against Southern Mississippi. I did not see that coming. 41-point spread. They usually give up a fair amount of points. And Southern Miss is out there scoring. But Florida State, 66 points. Keon Coleman was not doing it. Only 44 receiving yards, 48 receiving yards. I apologize. But still, Florida State out there looking dominant. I have them number 2 in my polls. I think Florida State is conceivably one of the 2 best teams in the country. I just can't put them ahead of USC because I believe in Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams could be one of the best players in the NFL right now, but he's still playing in college. Notre Dame beats NC State. I was not impressed with Notre Dame in this game. They struggled with Armstrong for a good portion of it. Made Armstrong look like a world beater, which should never happen. But they eventually pulled away and won the game. It was one of my locks for the week. I appreciate anyone who made money off that game, reached out to me and said, Rico, thank you so much. We've been getting hit up on the Cash App a lot. I appreciate that. We'll take all the money you guys want to give us, but more importantly, I want to give you locks so you guys can get that money. Shout out to Notre Dame for getting it done. North Carolina almost embarrassed themselves. I told you guys App State wouldn't have a chance in this game, and boy, was I wrong. App State, all they can do is run the rock. All they can do is run the rock. Nate Noel, let me look up here if I pulled out this game. I did. Nate Noel is your guy. Aguilar should not be it. Joey Aguilar should not be it, and Aguilar was great. Drake May was okay. No touchdowns. He was okay. And you know what hurt? It hurts him, man. He's lost all his receivers. There's no more Josh Downs. There's no more Antoine Green. Obviously, he lost Tez Walker to the NCAA. So you're supposed to have some type of rapport and camaraderie. Hey, how does Nate McCollum feel right now? Nate McCollum was a 60-reception guy with Georgia Tech, transfers out of Georgia Tech, thinks he's going to go play with Drake May, and he ain't getting shit, bro. He literally has 1 reception for 8 yards, and I think that's between the first 2 games. He hasn't gotten anything. Kobe Paysauer, that's their tight end. He goes out there and gets 8 receptions, 73 yards. Just a lot of checkdowns. Nothing going great for them. I don't feel bad for them. I'm just like, what the hell? But shout out to Omarion Hampton winning the job. You know, he was competing with Elijah Green for the running back position. Beats him out in the preseason. And, man, did they pick the right guy. Omarion Hampton, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is a guy who's been at the program for a while, just earning his keep, staying there and staying relevant, and just coming through in the clutch when they needed it most. Nate Noel still got his yards, guys. This is a good running back over here, App State. 127 and 2 touchdowns. It's great. But if you watch the tape and you go back and watch the game, 1 DB is doing it all. Shout out to Marcus Allen. If you guys don't know, Marcus Allen played high school ball here in Georgia. He's played at Walton. He's killing it. Had 3 passes deflected, but Elijah Huzzy is everywhere on that tape. Go watch Elijah Huzzy. Between Elijah Huzzy and Marcus Allen, I feel like the defensive backs at North Carolina are solid. I have no problem with them. I think they're good. There's others, but those 2 really stick out to me when I watch the tape. Watch this game over. You know, I know Chapman also had an interception as well. But I watched this game, and I really liked what I saw. But North Carolina got to play better defense. You can't be in double overtime against App State. That just can't happen. If you want to be taken serious in the ACC, I can't even buy that. I can't prescribe to that at all. Duke beating Lafayette, nothing surprising there. Riley Leonard played a little bit, 42-7. It's fine. Miami has the potential. Hey, I want to show you guys something. Before the season, and you might be able to look this up. This was the betting odds for who's going to win the ACC, who you can bet on. And I want you guys, if you can still bet on this, who's going to win the ACC, go look up the odds on Louisville, Duke, and Miami. Because if you get something like these 2000s right here, dude, just throw $20 on it. Just throw $20 on it. 4,000 for Duke. Louisville has the greatest schedule of all time. They're going to be in the championship game. You guys got to trust me on this. These 3 right here, they're worth just throwing out some flyers. Now, is Florida State going to win it all? I think so. But just the sheer payout, 4,000 to 1, 2 plus 2,000 on Miami. Miami looked great against A&M. They looked great against A&M. They looked explosive. I told you Texas A&M's strength is going to be their passing attack. It's what they do, Connor Wegman, and then he goes and throws 2 picks because I told you Kitchens is the best safety in America. Okay, so Miami gets 2 interceptions. Tyler Van Dyke goes out there and looks like, I don't know, name another great upper northeast quarterback who came from that region. I don't remember right now, but I'm telling you, Tyler Van Dyke, 5 touchdowns. Was it 5 or 4 touchdowns? It was insane. So I got it here. It was 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 21 for 30. Absolutely amazing. Restrepo was open every single play. Stewart still got his yards. Congratulations. But there was a ton of receivers for Miami that really showed out and impressed me. Parrish didn't impress me, but taking a kickoff 98 yards to the house, special teams looked great. The team looked great, and it's nice to see, football's fun when Miami's good. Football's fun when Miami's good. It's nice to see them stomp them in the ground. Hey, Jimbo Fisher, you are on the hot seat, bro. I don't care what anybody says. I don't understand how they're giving that guy a pass. Clemson blows out Charleston Southern, but it wasn't what you think it was. It was a lot closer. I want to say at one point Charleston Southern was winning 14-14 or 17-14, something like that. It was close until the second quarter, but they're still way too close for my comfort. I didn't see Clemson dominate anything. Their receivers are not getting any type of separation. Klubnik throws for the quietest 315 I ever seen. Not impressed with it. Shout out to Wake Forest. Still doing the damn thing, man. Wake Forest looks so good without Sam Hartman. They just look like they're doing everything right. I love it a lot. Yes, Vanderbilt, Swan, improved, but they still got blown out. Wake Forest blows out Vanderbilt. Another SEC loss, no big deal. The ACC versus the SEC, whew. ACC came to play this year, and they're not messing with them. Purdue and Virginia Tech. Yeah, Virginia Tech, they win the first game of the season. People start believing in them, but my God, Grant Wells throws 2 interceptions, and they start thinking to themselves, we got to get this guy out of here and see what Kyron Drones has. Drones is the transfer from Baylor. I've already told everyone. I've watched Drones film. I've done my assessment. Kyron Drones should not be on the football field. I don't care how bad Grant Wells plays. Kyron Drones should not be on the football field. I've told you guys this. And sure enough, Kyron Drones comes out there, goes 2 for 7. Just can't complete a pass. He's not built for this. Hudson Card, on the other hand, looking great. Devin Maccabee, he's that guy. He was the great running back last year as well. He's a hurdler back in high school, just so you know. I'm a little disappointed that Byshal Tutton's not getting the touches he needs. 8 carries for 4 yards. That's 0.5 yards a carry, guys. This is a 1,400-yard rusher at the FCS level last year at North Carolina A&T. Byshal Tutton, he's probably really disappointed in his decision and what he's doing. You know, coming out of North Carolina A&T, Georgia offered him, and he turned it down to go to Virginia Tech. Probably should have just went to Georgia and been a running back by committee. He did have a receiving touchdown, though. He did explode for a 30-yarder. Jalen Lane, moving over from Middle Tennessee State, their leading receiver. He went out here. He played well. But you don't see Ollie Jennings anywhere on the stat sheet. It's unfortunate. Shout out to Purdue. Bouncing back after their loss to Fresno State, and they get it done. Purdue does not have an easy schedule. Purdue's doing the best they can with what they have. I like it a lot. Shout out to Ryan Walters for getting his first win as a new head coach. I'm encouraged by what they did, but too bad for Virginia Tech. They look like they're going to have a long season. Speaking of, well, I don't want to get there yet. Speaking of long season, yeah, I was there. Speaking of long season, Boston College pulls out the win due to an act of God, right? They had a weather break. But my goodness, Holy Cross, I told you guys Holy Cross has the potential to win this game. As soon as I said that, some people took that the wrong way. Some morons went out and got on a dating app, got on a gambling app, and went and took they took Holy Cross money line. Bro, if I tell you they have a chance to win this game, go take the spread. Just be easy, man. The spread was 9 points. Just go take the spread. You would have been rolling in it, but you didn't listen. Shout out to Thomas Castellanos, Boston College. They named him the starting quarterback. This is the UCF transfer, former Ware County High School product here in Georgia. Great dual-threat quarterback. He got in the game. He's the starter, doing his damn thing. Sluka still was the leading rusher in this game. That's the Holy Cross quarterback. Sluka's a beast. But, yeah, Boston College gets it done. They win. I don't see Boston College winning a lot of games this year, so congratulations. Next game, JMU beating Virginia. We knew this was coming. Shout out to JMU quarterback. I talked about him yesterday, Anthony Colandera. This kid is a freshman from Florida, 5'11", finally getting his chance to start because of the injury to Tony Muskett, and I don't think he's going to lose that job. I think he's going to keep it the whole time, and Virginia looks like they're not going to do much. I told you take the under in this. I was wrong. I am wrong from time to time. Both teams were able to score. It's pretty impressive. Shout out to Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. If you guys don't know, Jamal Haynes is not a running back. Georgia Tech, South Carolina State, Georgia Tech wins this game big. Jamal Haynes in high school, I want to say he played at Grayson here in Georgia. And Jamal Haynes was this little receiver / kickoff returner, punt returner. And because of injuries, he goes to Georgia Tech, and they need him at running back. They move him to running back, and he's dynamic. And he's doing these things as this little guy. But he reminds me of like Dante Hall. Yeah, I've never thought of him as a running back ever. And he's their leading rusher, and they keep making him the running back. It's nuts. Congratulations. And Eric Singleton Jr. is a track star. He's super fast. Georgia Tech, man, I like them. I know they lost to Louisville in the season opener, but they played great. They played good. Shout out to Brent Key, great head coach, doing their thing. Syracuse surprised me immensely, blowing out Western Michigan. Did not see that coming, but it looks like Schrader's going to do his thing as a senior, as his final year of eligibility. Garrett Schrader going out there. They look like, they look like Pitt. They look like a team that could compete for the 4th or 5th best team in the ACC. And speaking of Pitt, Pitt goes out there and loses. They lose their game. Phil Jerkovic is not the guy. He's the Boston College quarterback transferred into Pitt. He's the new starter. He choked away this game. Cincinnati wins. Shout out to Cincinnati, a new Big 12 team. Satterfield doing his thing. After winning a huge blowout in week 1, they come back and win a tight battle, but they win it. I'm really impressed with Cincinnati. They're now 2-0. They have a win under their belt that really matters to me. Emory Jones. You guys got to remember this. Emory Jones completes passes, something Anthony Richardson could never do. Phil Jerkovic, don't believe the hype. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he was 10 for 32, guys. That's a 33% completion percentage. 10 for 32. He can't do anything. He's a punt waiting to happen. He's terrible. I don't understand it. Don't get it. Shout out to Aaron Turner. That's the UConn transfer. They need to get him the ball more. They gave him 2 carries, 22 yards. They need to throw him the rock. D. Wiggins is a transfer from Louisville, came over with Satterfield. He's good. I just like a lot of these players. Obviously, Xavier Henderson moving over from Florida has continuity. And is that Blue Smith? That can't be Blue Smith. That can't be Blue Smith. No, he went to Western Kentucky. We're good. We're good. I was freaking out right now. I was about to be on. But, yeah, excited for this team. Cincinnati has a shot. You guys, the reason I say Cincinnati has a shot, look at their schedule. Look at their schedule. Cincinnati Bearcats schedule. I know they're not ACC, but I want to talk about it. They got Miami of Ohio next. They got Oklahoma. But they don't play Texas, TCU, or K-State. They don't play Texas, TCU, K-State, or Texas Tech. Look at that schedule. It's a cakewalk, bro. As easy as it's going to get in the Big 12. You don't play Texas, TCU, K-State, or Texas Tech. That's insane. If they want to have a good season, it's going to be this year. I hope they do it. I hope they do it. Let's go back to the schedule here. Oh, that's everybody. Let's go to next week. I don't know the spreads. You guys are going to have to talk to me about spreads. You can put it in the chat, and I'll discuss it when it comes up. First and foremost, Bethune-Cookman is terrible. One of the worst teams in America. They have no chance at they're going to do nothing against Miami. Trust. They're bad. Virginia at Maryland. I got Maryland winning this game, obviously. We got to see what the spread is, but I got them winning. Florida State's going to go over to Boston College, break their face. Louisville better win this game by a substantial margin over Indiana. Indiana's not bad, but they still got to beat them more than like 30. Remember 30-3 was the score against Ohio State? Wake Forest is going to put it on Old Dominion, I believe. VMI obviously not beating NC State. Minnesota at North Carolina. I'm curious. I can tell you this. Minnesota found themselves a freshman running back. I just made a video about him. True freshman running back. Wait till you see Darius. I just made a video about him today. Go find it. Hidden gem. Going to North Carolina, though. That looks like an interesting matchup. I got Duke blowing out Northwestern. Virginia Tech at Rutgers. Rutgers looks revitalized, guys. Rutgers could do this. This looks like a Big Ten matchup with the ACC all week, and it doesn't look good for one team. Watch Georgia Tech look competitive. Watch Georgia Tech give Ole Miss all they want. Watch Georgia Tech give Ole Miss all they can handle. What I saw from Tulane, I was thoroughly impressed. Georgia Tech can do the same thing. Watch it. Syracuse at Purdue. At this point, you got to think Syracuse is going to beat them. Before the season, I would have picked Purdue. Pitt at West Virginia. Guys, West Virginia is not as bad as you think, but hopefully Pitt bounces back and wins that game. And obviously, Florida Atlantic and Clemson. Florida Atlantic played terrible this week. I'm ashamed of them. I talked about it yesterday on the podcast, but Clemson's there. Let's see what they can do. I'm interested in these spreads. I'll be checking them all week. If you guys send me the spreads in chat, I'll address them as they come up. I don't know them off the top of my head. That's the ACC in a nutshell. Any other questions you guys got? It's all coming in chat. Remember, I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to read it down. I'm going to go line by line. All you got to do is write it once. Don't repeat yourself. Everything needs to be ACC related. It can also be NFL related. If you guys got an NFL question, I will address it. If you're on TikTok and you're watching, there's 175 of you, 180 of you. All you got to do, move over to YouTube. When you do, hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button. Join the crew over here. We got 170 over here. I'm only talking to these people. I don't talk to you guys. I don't talk to these guys. I don't get paid to talk here. I get paid to talk over here. Peace. All right. So we're in the chat. Boss Omar says, good day, sir. Congratulations to Coach Prime and his kids. I asked that Mr. Sanders should talk to Coach Prime about his locker room theme song. I support all he is doing. Change N-word to dogs. That has nothing. Don't let someone else steal your narrative. Steal, S-T-E-A-L. Like you want to steal something. Boss Omar, that has nothing to do with the ACC. Willie Bobo says, I'm on cue. What up, man? Steve says, welcome in. Probably time for all you degenerates to get some merch at ricoknows.org. Yes, that is our website. You can go there, get all the merch you want. ricoknows.org. We got a banging blanket. We just got a throw blanket came in the mail. It says hashtag Rico Knows. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Connor Formula, one of the regulars on the show, Connor says, hey, Rico, this is a Power 5 question, so I'm not sure where to ask it. You always talk about Power 5 coordinators getting head coaching jobs in the Power 5. So he's a guy you actually think should get some looks. Did you say who or he's? I know he's new, but Ben Arbuckle's really impressed me thus far. Let him in for a couple of seasons, and I think he's in that trajectory for sure. So, if you guys don't know, to get hired at the Power 5 level, 90% of the hires come from Power 5 coordinator positions. Like a lot of people think if you're really good at the group of 5 and in one of those smaller conferences as a head coach, you're going to get hired at the Power 5. That's not going to happen. That's not how it works. They don't look to hire you, right? When they hired the new head coach at Duke, it came from defensive coordinator at A&M. The only guys they're hiring from the group of 5 on the way up are long, successful guys like Luke Fickell or Hugh Freeze, having previous head coaching experience. But I'm telling you, it's very rare to get a coach that's not a coordinator from the Power 5. So if you want to be a Power 5 head coach, you got to be a Power 5 offense or defensive coordinator. And that's why Sean Lewis left Kent State, and he's now the offensive coordinator at Colorado. It's because he has aspirations to do that. So another guy is Arbuckle here. Ben Arbuckle is the offensive coordinator right now at Washington State with Cam Ward. Now, his only problem is he wasn't the offensive coordinator last year. Last year, the offensive coordinator was Eric Morris, and he went to be the head coach at North Texas. The only reason he did that, because he's a Texas guy through and through. He used to be the Incarnate Word head coach. He wanted to go back to Texas. That's what he does. But Arbuckle was the co-offensive coordinator at Western Kentucky a couple years ago, right, with Zappy. So the offensive coordinator at Western Kentucky was Zach Kitley and Arbuckle. These two dudes were doing their thing. Now, Kitley is the new offensive coordinator at Texas Tech, and Arbuckle's up here. He was like an offensive assistant, passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach, all that stuff, and now he's the offensive coordinator, doing a great job for Washington State. All these guys eventually become head coaches. This is why I study position coaches and kind of where they go in their trajectory, because I want to know who the head coach is when you get that position and you get that job. Like right now, everybody's wondering who's going to replace Mel Tucker. It's not going to be some head coach at home. It's going to be a coordinator from another Power 5 team. Shout out to Jim Leonard. Just saying. I know he's new. Yeah. In case you can't see the screen today, is ACC Monday, please. Hey, we got 100-something thousand people in here. We got 100-something people in here. Do me a favor, guys. Almost 200. If you could please just leave the show real quick, hit the thumbs up, and then come back in. We need the likes over 100 every single day. It helps with the algorithm. It helps grow our channel. But we got 194 people on YouTube watching. Just leave it real quick, hit the thumbs up, then come back in. You can't thumb it up while you're in the show. I won't miss you for a split second, then you come back in. Thank you so much. Question. Your question should be ACC related. Only ask once. Thanks for being here. Also, shout out to Willie Bobo. Question. Drake May, everybody's darling, but pretty pedestrian start from him so far. If you watch, he's been making some questionable decisions so far. Maybe fourth best quarterback in the ACC. Well, performance and projection, like what do you mean by fourth best quarterback in the ACC? Are we talking about pro potential? Because the NFL is not going to want to hear that at all, right? They're going to say, no, we don't care how they're performing. It's his potential. So if we're just talking about statistically in the ACC, is he fourth? Maybe he is. I haven't checked. But I'll tell you this. When I watch them play, the bigger issue is Phil Longo left, their offensive coordinator. He left to Wisconsin, and they're struggling with continuity right now because of that. But the people they brought in to replace all their skill positions, they're not any good. They're not as good as the guys who left. They're not as good as the NFL wide receivers he had last season. So he's going to have a down year statistically for sure. And a majority of the conference is just much more improved. That's at least how I feel about it. We got a super chat. I'm going to jump to the question. Excuse me. One NFL question from Corey Free. What do you think of Janai Thomas play last night? He seemed like a Rico guy. So if you guys don't know, Juane Thomas, he is definitely a Rico guy because I made a video about him and his brother, who's now starting for Florida State, or at least he's in the rotation at Florida State at corner. These two young men raised by their mother. I believe their father was a Marine, and he burned down their house when they were kids. And, the family, he got arrested or he's gone forever, whatever it is. And they were raised by just their mother. And they got a couple brothers. But Thomas, being a practice squad player last season for the Cowboys, just on the fringe of making the roster. And then out of nowhere, he's in the starting lineup. And he's doing well, and he's doing well for himself. And that Cowboys defense last night looked amazing. But if you want to talk about an underdog story, Thomas is one of those guys. So I'm pretty ecstatic for him. I'm happy for him and his family. Yeah, definitely one of my guys. So thank you for the question, Corey. That's pretty awesome that you knew that. Yeah, so for me, like I said, North Carolina struggling because they lost their offensive coordinator and their NFL weapons. Stephen Guyett says, Rico, I saw FSU are about 27-point favorites against BC, which on paper I understand. However, do you incorporate motivation or teams playing down to their opponent when analyzing how much they'll win by? No, Steven, sometimes I analyze whether or not the team is trying to get looks on their second string. So a lot of teams will get up by 30 and put in the second string, and that becomes problematic because that's when other teams score. That's when they stop scoring. So if they're out there trying to run up the score for points, to look good, then they're not putting in their second string. But certain teams are. Now, not Boston College. We're talking not Bethune-Cookman. It's Boston College, right? Florida State's going to beat the brakes off them. I don't think 27 is enough. I would pick Florida State to cover that spread in an instant, personally, just so we're clear. Evan Kramer, Rico, do you think Georgia Tech being 20-point underdogs to Ole Miss is warranted? Not at all, Evan Kramer. Not at all. I like Georgia Tech. If they're 20-point underdogs, I'm taking them to cover that spread. I am. I really believe in them to that level. I think that's crazy. Shout out to me, Mark Preston says, shout out to me for being ranked 41st in the Pick'em group. That's pretty damn good. Because Bethune-Cookman University is playing Miami, should they have hired Ed Reed? Do expect them to be competitive in this game. No, they will not be competitive in this game. They're absolutely terrible. Bethune-Cookman is. So is Boston College. Both, I see BC. Ed Reed was hired by Bethune-Cookman, but they couldn't agree on some things, and there was a real big issue with facilities and all kinds of other shit. I don't think they should have done anything other than tried to hire him, and then it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. You guys anybody ever gone on a first date and you thought that shit was popping? And then you go on a second date and you start asking real questions? I can tell you guys, I went on a first date with a woman not too long ago, and the date was great. It was solid. It was good. Second date, she says to me, oh, I like to get high every day. I like to smoke weed every day. I said, excuse me? She goes, yeah, I needed to calm down. I don't go to therapy anymore. I just get high every day. Me and my neighbors. Oh, you're 40 years old and you smoke out with your neighbors every day? Yeah, it's just the two husbands from across the street. Oh, you want me to date a girl getting high with two other dudes across the street? That's some childish shit. We're out of here. And the date was great. That's how it is with Bethune-Cookman and Ed Reed. They went on a date. It was great. And then they had some follow-up questions, and it wasn't as good. That's real. Ronnie Horton, Rico, what are your thoughts on Virginia Tech versus Purdue? Grant Wells still sucks. Yeah, I talked about it. I'm really impressed with what Purdue did, and Virginia Tech is going to struggle because they got to start Grant Wells. Kyron Drones is not him. Shout out to Mark Preston. Thank you so much for the $2 tip. Every tip goes towards our standard of living in my life and making this dream come true. One day we're going to be somebody. I appreciate you, Mark Preston, for helping us get there. Willie Bobo says, are you kidding me? The Cowboys are still scoring. Pause. Hey, I think he used pause correctly. I think he did. They're scoring. I want to score. Pause. Shout out to Willie Bobo. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, man. They looked very dominant last night. Or the Giants looked hapless. You figure out which one you want to do. Either way, you're accurate. It's pretty awesome. Hudson says, after Brennan Armstrong's god-awful performance for the second week in a row, do you think it's worth giving the job to MJ Morris or save his redshirt year? So, MJ Morris is a sophomore. I am an MJ Morris guy through and through. I am all over MJ Morris. Pause. I really believe in MJ Morris as a quarterback. I watched him at the Elite 11 camp, and when he was trying out for the Elite 11 camp, one of these regional camps, and when I watched him, they did not select him, and I thought, that's crazy. They picked Eli Hosteen, I believe, the kid from Louisiana who ended up going to Alabama. Dude, MJ Morris outplayed everybody. MJ Morris was so much better, and I've been impressed with him ever since. I don't know how or why he's not starting. He is the best non-starter in America, in my assessment. I love MJ Morris. He should be in there right now. To hell with Armstrong. I don't like Armstrong. Colin McNerney says, Rico, longtime fan, thoughts on Notre Dame's absolute ownership over the ACC? Conlin, firstly, I don't even know if that's a word, by the way. Firstly is not a word. But first and foremost, how in the hell are you a longtime fan? What's a long time to you? I started doing YouTube live streams in June. I started talking sports on TikTok in December. What's a long-time fan? I just need to know, by definition. Second thing, I think secondly is a word. Secondly, I think I can add LY to that. Secondly, Notre Dame's absolute ownership over the ACC, I think that's an overstatement. They won their game. I'm proud of them. But I don't think they own the ACC by any means. They're winning and they're beating middle-of-the-pack teams. Show me the top. Show me the top. We're going to find out. You probably spoke too soon, man. What about Duke? They got to play Duke. I'm excited for Duke in Notre Dame's game. I've been calling Duke to win that game all offseason. Although they haven't really played anyone that great, I really think Syracuse, can upset a lot of teams. Lansdowne, anytime you have a senior quarterback, you got a shot. A senior Latin quarterback, you're on it. Shout out to them. Super D Johnson says, you respect Texas yet? Texas is in the Big 12. I'll talk about them on Wednesday. That's not an ACC question. What are your thoughts? I apologize, chat just jumped on me. Let me go back up. That's bad. That's bad. Boom, boom, boom. I'm here, guys. What are your thoughts on Notre Dame? They seem to be a very good team, but also seem to get stale at times. Nate Steven, I talked about Notre Dame yesterday. I do independent teams with the group of 5. So Notre Dame was discussed yesterday. Go watch yesterday's show. Thank you. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you ate good from Rico the GOAT call out. Shout out to you, King Foodie. Everybody eats good around here. Kim made me a feast. She made me ribs. Y'all. Hey, that's some white shit. I didn't grow up with ribs. I shouldn't label white people like this, but I didn't grow up with ribs. We ate carne asada. We ate Hispanic food, Mexican food. And then I meet this girl, and she wants to make me ribs. She's made me gumbo, crawfish, some other shit, some real southern shit. Like it's crazy. I'm eating I'm eating, bro. I'm not complaining. I don't ever have to leave the house. I love Rico. You continue to pay my bills. Shout out to you, Chris. Ditto. David in Arizona, good to see you, brother. Good afternoon, Rico. Good afternoon. Dylan Howard says, what up? Love the content. Keep it up and prove them haters wrong. Yeah, hey, them haters, they're paying for the steak. Vegas Content Gap Channel, goodbye. Tanner McKenzie says, ACC Monday, let's see. Since I can read, I will not be asking about my Fresno Bulldogs or Michigan Wolverines. Miami is here. Shout out to you. Yes, they are here. Or still need more. I put them in my top 25 this morning. Go watch the video. I know A&M always has some talent. Yep, they do. They have some great talent. Stewart was awesome at wide receiver. What's good, Rico? Another blessed week. Thank you, Corey Free. Shout out to you. Jay Lou says, Rico, no question. Just saying, keep up the great work. Don't let the trolls bother you. You know, Jay Lou, I want to talk about that. You guys ask me a lot of NFL questions. And I stay away from NFL content for the most part. I don't like to talk about it too much because NFL fans are overly toxic. They're not encouraging on the slightest level. And it actually makes me feel like, ugh. I just feel the ick, like, ugh. Every night, if I make an NFL video and I'm going to bed, I have to lay in bed and read 10,000 comments of how I don't know what I'm talking about. Rico doesn't know. Rico's an idiot. You're a moron. Stay on college. All this stuff. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think it's healthy for a human being to read negative comments about themselves at the volume at which I read. It's just not healthy. So I try to stay away from it. I don't like it. The people are just terrible. They're not getting me down. They're terrible people. And I know they're a bunch of teenage kids. I know it, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. They're going to be crying in a bathroom someday because she never called back. Like, that's the life they're going to live. These pimple-faced kids, they get nervous sitting next to a girl. I promise. They ain't never asked a girl to dance or ask for a number. It's ridiculous. Tanner McKenzie says, Kevin Porter's girl's a baddie too. Guy's a bum. Yeah, man. Beautiful, and you're trying to make her ugly? I got a problem with you. Fair enough. D's. Rico, what up? Carson Duffy. Josh Kuhn says, 17th place in Group Pick'em, Cheddar Spreader. Shout out to you, Cheddar Spreader. Congratulations. Mike Scraps, what's up, man? Good to see you again. Diego Hernandez, how long is your stream? We limit it to 2 hours. So you got an hour and 15 minutes left max. If I ever get to the end of the chat, the show's over. That's how it works. Good afternoon, fam. Shout out to you, Legal Hustle King. Burger Man 6 says, they're so young out there in Houston, too. I don't know what we're talking about. Whole team full of teenagers. Is this the ACC? Casey Ivy's got done. Corey Free says, Diego, he usually goes about 2 hours. Thank you for answering. Tanner McKenzie said, League, hit the like button. Shout out to you, T. We're at 126. I appreciate you guys for getting us those likes up. Caden Bailey, is UNT, University of North Texas, the worst college football team as of right now? So that's a group of 5 question. You could ask that yesterday, not today, but thank you for asking. I didn't save my picks for week 1, but got them for week 2 and went 8-2 since I missed out on week 1. I'm pretty much done, right? Yeah, Trent, you're pretty much done, but you can keep going, man. It's a long season. You never know. These guys might fall flat on their face, but you are behind. You're behind about 50 points. It ain't the end of the world. Omar, the song don't even have the N word. Yeah, we don't worry about that guy. Get on my level. Thoughts on Minnesota versus UNC game? I think I talked about it. Rewind the show. Brandon Bowen says, Pac-Man always been trouble. He has. Rico, it's Toasty. Oh, shout out to Toasty. Toasty knows. Toasty I know. Toasty guesses. Toasty, guys, check him out right here in the chat. He's one of the best at the pick'em. Quietly, I've never seen this guy in my life. Or gal, I don't know. Might have some binary thing going on, but shout out to Toasty. Rico knows. What up? Nate at Night says, Virginia Tech let me down Saturday. Yeah, man. It's tough. It's a cold world. Stephen Guyat says, Q's with 2 huge wins. Do they get checked this week against Purdue? If they beat Purdue, they're banging on that top 25 just off of sheer performance so far this year. I don't like to hear teams get credit for some other shit. Oh, they don't pass the eyeball to all this. No. Purdue, they would be 3-0 at that point, and they're beating Power 5 teams. I got to respect them. Shout out to Syracuse. Was Duke's quarterback going 2020 as impressive as it looked? Didn't watch the game, just saw the box score. Well, it's an FCS opponent, but going 20 for 20 at any point in your life is, that's Rico-esque. That's like me at the nightclub, bro. I go to a nightclub, I ask a girl to dance, I'm batting 1,000. Like, I'm not striking out. I can dance, I look good, I'm tall, I'm muscular, I smell good, I got money. I got it. I'm going to go 20 for 20. It don't matter. Now, some of you guys, you can't go 20 for 20 on air. Like, you can't go 20 for 20 in your room alone. Like, you can practice pickup lines in front of the mirror and fumble it. So imagine going out and doing it against real opponents, right? When I see quarterbacks in warm-ups, they can't go 20 for 20. Against no defense, just in shells, right? Just in your helmet and your shoulder pads, they can't go 20 for 20. You're going to throw an incompletion. You're going to be slightly inaccurate, whatever it is. So shout out to him for doing his damn thing. Shout out to Riley Leonard. He played great. I told y'all FSU to the ship. Sam Dayton, I don't remember this, but thank you for telling us. Nate at Night says, Rico, will you please find Virginia Tech a quarterback in the portal? They did, man. They got one. I didn't think it was great. They got to do something. This offseason, they got to get a quarterback somewhere in the region. Go to the FCS. Get an All-American. You can find a quarterback not in the starting lineup. There's so many. There's quarterbacks available every offseason. FSU, Wilson didn't even have a reception. Yep, Johnny Wilson, big-ass dude, 6'7", no reception. Shout out to TD Florida. Where is the Cash App? Dylan Howard, the Cash App is on the homepage of TikTok. It is $ Who Dat Kimmy. Kimmy spelled Kimmie. Who Dat, like who Dat trying to beat them Saints. Who Dat? Who Dat? Who Dat over there trying to beat them Saints? That's how it goes, babe? She's a Saints fan. It's hers. When you want to tip me out, you give it to Kim. She's my finance person. She runs all my taxes and stuff. She takes care of everything. So, $ WHODAT Kimmy. Who Dat Kimmy? And we get the money. Yes, we've been getting tipped out on the Cash App all day long. I appreciate you guys. You come in here and super chat us too. Doesn't matter. Throw a gift. Everything's getting to us. Thank you so much, guys. Ty Turner says, yo, Rico, Clemson upset. Did not look good in that first half against Charleston. So you're thinking they're going to get upset this week? I don't think that's going to happen. No. Who do you think is the better team between FSU and Texas? So if I line them up, and I've already done this and I've assessed them, Florida State has more talent in their starting 22. But that's where coaching comes in. Coaching and schemes. And whoever's going to show up that day. But right now, Florida State looks like a better team than Texas. The only team I'm taking over both of those is USC. USC's offense looks out of this world. That Zachariah Branch looks better than everybody in the country. And he's a true freshman, and he looks like Percy Harvin. He looks like, you name it, he looks like it. That guy's it. Matt, what up, Matt? Matt says, Rico, what up, brother? How's our girl Ash doing today? And he spelled her name correctly this time. Well, if you can hear in the background, she's chewing on a bone. She's doing her thing. She's a vicious killer. No, she's not. She's very playful, very loving. She is a pit bull, so test her gangster if you want. J2B says, hey, Rico, I'm genuinely confused on what to think of Louisville, their defense particularly with Georgia Tech putting up 30 on them 2 weeks ago. Do you think Indiana stays in the game with them? So, watching Indiana against the Sycamores, obviously it's a little overinflating, but Indiana looks to be dynamic on offense. They have a good quarterback, right? Javen just transferred in from Tennessee. It's a great quarterback. But Louisville's defense needs to get it done. Here's what I think. And people don't want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you. When you run these types of offenses, these high-octane, throw-every-down offenses, USC, Tennessee, Western Kentucky, Washington, when you do this and you score this many points, you either get really fast punts or you get really fast touchdowns. And every time Louisville scores on one or two plays to Jamari Thrash, their defense has to go back out there. So by the second half, your defense is exhausted. You don't have the depth. They've been on the field too long. You're scoring too fast. And because Louisville doesn't have a consistent run game, they're just scoring too fast. These little screen passes they do to that Jamar dude, to their little speed back, it's a problem. Because he's going to the house every time. He's so fast. They're so dynamic. They're so great. So the recipe is to slow it down a little bit. And they're doing that, right? They got the transfer from Wisconsin. His name escapes me right now. Guerrero. What's his name? Isaac G, the transfer. So Isaac comes in, and they're using Isaac a lot, trying to just get him to move the chains a little bit. But it's to give the defense a breather because their defense is on the field way too much because their offense just scores. And scores and scores. And by the end of the game, the defense is looking around going, damn. But don't get it twisted. Georgia Tech is that good. Georgia Tech's a good team. They're very improved. 30 points, Georgia Tech's not a problem. I think Georgia Tech's going to cover their spread against Ole Miss. And that'll let you guys know how good Georgia Tech is. Now, if I'm wrong, then Louisville's in trouble. If I'm wrong, Louisville's in trouble. That means Louisville's defense sucks. But I don't think I'm wrong. You can get Duke in Miami currently at plus 1,600. I don't know how much money you guys got, but those sound like two very reasonable bets for the ACC championship. At plus 1,600, it's pretty amazing, right? You put $20 on it, divide that by 5, you can win $300 off $20. Just saying. Or you can, I used to buy $20 worth of bad music. I used to buy bad CDs. Every Tuesday, a new DVD would come out. I used to throw $20 on a DVD every Tuesday. I'd be buying some terrible DVDs. I don't have any of those DVDs today. What a waste of money. But you just be guessing at what movie was good or not. That's the Army for you. You would just be like, which one's good? Just take this one. It's like, I'm watching this movie called Stealth, and damn, it sucks. But Jessica Biel's in it, and she's in a bikini. Hit pause. Let me watch that right there. Diego Hernandez, stop asking about Pac-12. It's an ACC day, of course. Get the likes up. Thank you, Matt. How do you think Miami's secondary matches up with FSU's offense? I think it matches up well. But you don't want to do that. The advantage is always for the offense. Even if it matches up well, the advantage is for the offense. So, it sucks. Clemson looks bad, so bad this year. I told everybody Garrett Riley is not him. I looked at Garrett Riley's track record and what he's actually done. I was not impressed with that hire. I don't think it's just a name. I don't like Garrett Riley as an offensive coordinator. I was very clear about that this offseason. Did not like the move. Get the likes up. Clemson, Florida State. Clemson beats Florida State 38-35. Joseph Villalon, he enjoys being wrong. If you guys didn't know, Joseph said a lot of crazy things for the last couple months, and he's been wrong a lot. Yep, he's crazy for that take. Yep, he's not crazy. He just likes to be wrong. Tyler McNamee says, the crowd shots at Miami home games are always so embarrassing. Do you think that will hold them back and ever true? You see this right here? Tyler McNamee, I like you, man. You're here all the time. But when you guys watch a video on TikTok or a hype video on YouTube, whatever it is, and then you come in here and you guys tell me about the video as your take, that's absurd. Like the guy who made that video and goes, look at Miami's an hour away from the school and nobody goes to the games and they don't have a home field advantage and all this shit. Bruh, you watched it in a video 2 weeks ago. It doesn't impact the game. These guys are playing on the damn field. It's not going to hold them back. What's going to hold them back is not getting all the best players out of Florida to stay home. What's going to hold them back is their coach not bringing them all together. Come on, man. Is a Rico versus Morant's boxing match a possibility? Absolutely not. I do not want to hurt that guy. He could never box me in a million years, and he's not an athlete. He's an overweight, elderly guy, and he runs a Costco, bro. I've been training in the World's Strongest Army for the last 20 years. That guy runs a Costco. Get out of here. Tanner McKenzie says, Purdue and Virginia Tech sold that over crazy. It was 17-17 at the half. Yeah, I know. And then nothing. FSU BC this week. What are your thoughts? Florida State wins big. Rewind the show. I asked yesterday. We just ran out of time, so you didn't get to it. Would you like to see Braylon Presley at Tulsa get reps at the slot, not getting touches at running back, but led them in receiving this week? So he is J2 to B. This is a group of 5 question, so you got to be here on Sunday for that question. I want to answer it completely. I love Braylon Presley. You asked it yesterday, but you didn't get to the show early enough to get me to get it. That's the thing. I got to reward the people who get here early and get their questions in early. Okay, that's just the way the show works. So Sunday, get there early, get your question in, and we can have that discussion. Not today, though. I won't be a hypocrite. How many wins can we realistically expect from Louisville? Max Pullen. I had Louisville winning. I'm going to show you guys right here, just so you know I'm not lying. New coach hires. Louisville, I have them winning 9 games. There it is on the spreadsheet. Louisville's second coach up top. New coach is hired, Jeff Brom. 9 games. I realistically thought they could win 9 games. Now, I will say this. They haven't looked like a 9-game winner so far. They look like they're struggling to find each other and get continuity. They look a lot like Wisconsin, except Wisconsin ran into Washington State and Louisville had Murray State, right? So it's just a little different. They haven't run into that buzzsaw yet. But Louisville better get their act together and start hitting on all cylinders, or they're going to be losing games. The GOAT says, man, Dante Moore has been showing out. What's that got to do with the ACC? ACC today, thank you very much. A punt waiting to happen. Very true, that's what I said. Evan Kramer says, Louisville favored by 10. Louisville's favored by 10. Who are they playing again? I blew that. 1 second. I shouldn't have closed it out. I should have just left it up because we're going to make references to it. Give me a second. Chris Jones ended his holdout. Jonesy ended his holdout. Boom, boom. Pulling it up, y'all. Pulling it up. Everybody don't freak out. Somebody's spamming it in chat, but I won't see it because it's way down there. All right, so Louisville's a 10-point favorite over Indiana. I take those points. After Jimbo gets fired from A&M, is there an ACC job he can take? Yeah. Boston College, Virginia Tech, Virginia, all 3 of those. He can take them. And Dino Babers, if the wheels falls off, that seat's still hot. North Carolina versus Minnesota, under 49. I wouldn't take the under. Not against I just wouldn't bet on it. You do what you want to do, but I wouldn't bet on it. Just so we're aware. Florida State minus 28.5. Yeah, I'm taking that. Boston College is terrible. Bruh, just type in FanDuel at the top and get the spreads. Trina Castle. I don't do that, man. Thanks for the tip. Who do you think I am increasing? So Trina Castle, let me explain something to you. You are not a content creator, so you don't understand how calculated I am. When I say write the spreads in there for me, it increases my engagement, my interactions, my comments, and it brings more eyes to the channel, and it keeps the chat growing. If you don't know what a CTA is, that's call to action, you have no idea what I'm doing. I am a full-time content creator. This is what I do for a living. So I think I know what I'm doing instead of having all the answers and coming up with it on my own. I think I know what I'm doing, bro. Ask me about it. I made this empire in 1 year. In 9 months, I made this thing to where I make thousands upon thousands of dollars. I think I know what I'm doing. Thanks. Thanks for the tip. Lil B says, who do you like on Monday night? Steelers versus Browns. I'm not a gambler by any means. And if you ask me who I like out of those two teams, I would like the Steelers to win the game. They won't, but I like them. I don't like the Browns. I don't like anybody who's sexually assaulting women. That's just the way it goes. Georgia Tech 20.5 versus Ole Miss. Yeah, I take Georgia Tech all day. Garrett Wilson over 5.5 catches. No idea, bro. I don't do NFL nothing. FOM Wealth says, do you like Diggs to score? These guys are gross. Sam Provo says, thoughts on Anthony Richardson? I made a video on Anthony Richardson yesterday. I think the Colts protected him really well. People are looking at box scores and not really watching the game. A lot of screen passes, making sure he just does what he's good at, which is run, and don't let him get too outside of himself. I'm not impressed with Anthony Richardson. I never will be unless he's out there really dicing it up, and I don't ever see that happening from that dude. That's my thoughts. Ravens versus the Bengals. What do you want me to say? Terrible quarterback play in that game. Two of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL in that game. Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Bengals, the dude who got overpaid. These two guys are going to go out there and stink it up. There you go. Samir Gragui. I want to know how to say your name, bro. I apologize. Do you think A-Rod is going to be any good tonight? A-Rod, the baseball player? The baseball player? He's talking about Aaron Rodgers. I don't like Aaron ever. I hope he plays terrible tonight. FSU Miami this year. Game day appearance. Is that rivalry back on the map? Well, I hope they keep their records intact. It's never gone away. They play all the time. I hope they keep their records intact. I hit that like button on the way in for sure. Thank you very, very much, Lord Bandy. I fully believe you, bro. Who do you think? North Carolina continually gives up an insane amount of points. Why do you think North Carolina routinely gives up an insane amount of points to inferior opponents, App State, and lose games they shouldn't? Well, Andrew Lawley, I think each of them is a case-by-case scenario. In this specific case, North Carolina lost Dre Bly in the offseason, their defensive backs coach. Then they had 5 defensive backs jump in the transfer portal and lost all of them. That's Tony Grimes. That's Cam Kelly. That's, what's his face? The all-name team. Penn State. Went to Louisville. Storm Duck. I apologize. And a couple of others. So when you lose your entire secondary, all of a sudden you saw what happened, right? App State was able to throw the ball. That's crazy. App State was able to pass the ball on you. You cannot stop teams. They're going to get third down conversions because you don't have any defensive backs. And now you went and got Elijah. I love Elijah Huzzy, but you're still able to throw on this team. There's a downgrade in talent in the secondary. They tell me the front seven's strong because of what they did against South Carolina, but go back and watch South Carolina. South Carolina, Spencer Rattler threw for 350 yards in a loss. They had negative 2 yards rushing because their offensive line sucked, but he still threw for 350 yards. Now you got another guy throwing for 300 yards. App State, like, that's just crazy. North Carolina cannot stop the pass. That's how I feel about North Carolina. And that's why that's happening to them. Now, in the past, in other situations, in other situations, it was the same concept. They don't have a star running back, or at least they didn't last year. Remember, Hampton just rushed for 234 yards and saved their ass. But last year, Drake May was the team's leading rusher. Not just leading passer, but leading rusher. Drake May. It's not a dual-threat quarterback. How's he leading you in rushing? It's Phil Longo. It's just their offensive scheme. It's just the way it works. It's terrible. Wake Forest minus 14.5. Their favorite, Wake Forest? Who are they playing? I already talked about this, right? Old Dominion? Whew. I don't know. I'd have to look at the matchups again. But knee jerk, I feel like they're better than Old Dominion by 14.5. There you go. Who is FSU's only a 4-touchdown favorite? Why is FSU? Because they might not play all their starters. Because they might let off the gas a little bit and let them score. Right? Because it's at Boston College and home field advantage is worth a certain amount of points. Because Boston College is known for defensive play from their defensive backs, because Jeff Hafley, their head coach, is a former NFL defensive backs coach and a defensive coordinator from Ohio State. So they're really good on the defensive side of the ball. Theoretically, they can stop the pass. They'll have a scheme to stop the pass and trick Jordan from throwing. So at that point, you're like, okay, Florida State has good receivers. They're still going to beat them. They're still going to beat them deep, but you can't stop Trey Benson. But their defensive backs will be in position to make plays. Trust. That's how that works. Thoughts on the Jets versus Bills game tonight? I'll try not to think about it, Samir. I don't worry about NFL games. I'll skip them all if I can. I'll rewatch some ACC games instead. I'll watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon with my girl before I watch an NFL game. Hey, Rico, so I've been watching for a while, but always miss the ACC SEC days because those are my busy days. So question, how is Miami going to do this year in your view, obviously? Augustine Chavez, we're always here for my view, right? I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for making it. I think Miami, I don't try to assess the entire year because teams change week to week, injuries, things like that. So I don't even try to project the whole year out. But Miami looks great. They look like they're hitting on all cylinders. If Van Dyke can play up to his quote-unquote potential and his traits, they're going to be solid. So 1 week down, another week to go. Next week, who do they play? They play Bethune-Cookman. There's another win. It'll be easy. So enjoy the week. Enjoy the week. That's how they're doing so far. Thoughts on Louisville? Love Louisville. Rewind the show. Duke minus 18.5 versus Northwestern. I like that spread for Duke. I like Duke on that spread. I feel like they're going to smash Northwestern. Steelers had 1 total yard with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. What do you think needs to be done, and do you think Kenny Pickett is the answer? So they tell me Kenny Pickett and George are the answer, right? George Pickens? I'm telling you they're not it. You need a quarterback in the top 15 if you want to be competitive. You really do. If you don't take a quarterback in the top 15, you're just getting a guy that's kind of like filling the gaps, kind of there for a little bit or whatever. But you need a stud at quarterback. You need a beast. And I just feel like Kenny Pickett's not that guy. He's a local guy. He's cool. I got bigger hands than Kenny Pickett right now, bro. I promise you. I palm a basketball like it's nothing. Kenny Pickett, I bet if I shook that dude's hand, my pinky and my thumb would meet, crushing him. He ain't it. I don't know if Notre Dame looked good or NC State was that bad. Boogs, Montana. I don't think Notre Dame looked good, and I don't think NC State looked that bad. I thought Notre Dame won the game because they're the better team. They're more talented. But I don't think either team looked bad. NC State impressed me by even keeping it that close. I'm being real. They didn't look bad at all. Land's finest. What do you think the Browns' ceiling is? I don't know. The Super Bowl? I didn't watch them play. I don't know why you guys are asking me these questions. Louisville, minus 9.5. Yeah, you got to give it to me. You got to take that. You got to. Think about it. 9.5 is a touchdown and a field goal. When you see 9.5, that's a touchdown and a field goal, y'all. You just automatically think about 10, because for you to cover, it's got to go to 10. So are they going to win by a touchdown and a field goal? Are they a touchdown and a field goal better than Indiana? I think so. Watch that line move all week. Watch it move. If it moves to 11, you're screwed. All those people wait until the last second. Thoughts on Pitt versus West Virginia? It's a backyard brawl. It's competitive. I'm going to stay away from it completely, Mike. Stay away from it completely. I think West Virginia's got a great defensive backs, and Pitt looks like they're throwing the ball way more than they're running. But Pitt cannot throw. Pitt has the most inaccurate quarterback in all of America. He went 10 for 30. He hits a third. He thinks it's baseball, bro. He's hitting a third of his passes. Jerkovic, the transfer from Boston College, is completing a third of his passes. He thinks he's going to the Hall of Fame. I think Pitt's going to struggle. Any errant passes, West Virginia's picking it off. Thoughts on Syracuse versus Purdue? I'm leaning towards Syracuse, but what's your opinion? My opinion is don't pick the game. Are you talking about for pick 'em or betting? Because when you see games like this, guys, where there's no clear advantage for either team or you're not sure, just stay away from it. That's the key to gambling. Stay away from it. That's what you do. Just, oh, man, my bad. I'm away from this one. That's all you got to do. Rico, do you have any aspirations of being a TV analyst in the future? My bad if it's a far-off question. So, new WBN, I actually don't. I hate wearing a suit. I hate a schedule and a work schedule. I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to be politically correct or held to a certain FCC standard. So, no, I don't have aspirations of being a TV analyst in the future. What I do, though, is I do have aspirations for sponsorship. I've had agencies reach out to me like an agent. I had that in my email. I'm hesitant right now because I'm still employed by the U.S. government until I officially retire, which is coming. Hopefully. I did my paperwork this morning. Hopefully I'll be officially retired in November 30th. And then I can pursue. Then we're going to relocate. We're going to move down to Texas, probably early January, February timeframe. And then in time for next football season, I should either be employed with someone with a sponsorship, or we'll just keep rocking by ourselves. I'm doing really well independent. I can tell you that. I haven't had to change my standard of living. That's for damn sure. I'm feeling pretty good. The only thing we have to iron out is like how you pay your taxes with social media, because you get paid your gross when you get it from YouTube and TikTok. You don't get any taxes taken out. So I just want to be careful that I'm not in the wrong tax bracket and I'm not paying my taxes. I'm not one of those guys I'm not Wesley Snipes. But I appreciate the question. I just don't want to work for somebody. I want to work for myself. Yeah, I like Georgia Tech at plus 20. Blunts and Paper Podcast, one of my former football players. Shout out to you, DJ. He said, Coach, who's going to win tonight? Jets versus Bills. I think the fans are going to win. Watch the game and enjoy it. I don't have a clue which team's winning. Carter Hare, is the playoff expansion this postseason or next postseason? Carter Hare, it is next postseason, not this year. This year it's just 4 teams. Anthony S. says, hi, Rico, big fan of yours. Did you watch any NFL games? Who were you impressed with to win a lot? I don't understand what you mean by to win a lot. Don't be gambling off of what I'm impressed with in the NFL. You've never heard me pick an NFL game in my life, okay? Because I don't trust NFL coaches, offensive schemes, matchups, and how they do things. I don't like NFL coaches or GMs. That being said, what games did I watch? I watched the Saints versus – who was it, babe? Saints versus Titans. I watched Tannehill stink it up. Tannehill threw 3 interceptions, I believe. I was impressed with the Saints' defense, but it just looked like Tannehill forgot how to play football. I watched the Cowboys in the evening. What did I watch after that first one? Do you remember? I don't remember. I watched 3 games like everybody else. I didn't flip around. I'm making content all day. I didn't really focus on it. I watched a lot of it on mute because I don't even like to hear what they have to say. They're not teaching me shit about these players, whatever they're talking about. I don't care. I just turn it all off, bro. That's just how I get down. So there you go. Shout out to Corey Free for the $5. Do we think Dabo chooses to hit the portal next season or continue to get left behind? So, Seth, I don't think he's getting left behind by the portal. I don't think a lot of guys in the portal were upgrades to his group, to his team. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't a lot of players in the portal upgrading his team. Georgia signed 3 guys, and Smoke Bowie was off the team before you knew it. Okay? It's not like these elite teams are finding the transfer portal help that you're expecting. Unless you're getting all-conference transfers. Shout out to USC, getting all-conference guys like Dorian Singer and Mason Cobb. That's not happening for Alabama or Clemson or Georgia. They're not getting transfers like that. They are using the portal, though. Clemson uses the portal. They dropped 12, 13 players from their team. That's using the portal. They got rid of them so they could sign more kids out of high school. Don't let them fool you. It's not like they're refusing to use the portal. They're just not signing all their players. And they did sign Paul Tyson to come be a coach. Arizona State transfer. Bear Bryant's great-grandson or something. Colby Mayock says, early ACC picks before the lines move during the week. Also, is Clemson done in your opinion? No, they're not done. They're doing what they can. They got to get better. I gave some of my picks on money line winners, but I don't know the spreads entirely. Rewind the show and pay attention slowly, carefully. I got you. Put it at 1.5 speed, 1.25 speed. You might hear it. Rico's the truth. Thank you very much, Quan. I appreciate you. Spartek says, caught your brothers live yesterday during the Cowboys game. He was hilarious, but he doesn't know like Rico knows. Yeah, so I think he's just an entertainment guy. I think he's just trolling and messing around. I know he's trying to get to 10,000 followers, so give him some love. You know, once he gets to 10,000, he can start making his money. Theoretically, he still has to get 100,000 views in 30 days. But I think this is all a push for him to grow his brand, and more power to him. I don't watch his shit. If he's on live, I don't watch it. I ain't got time for that. I'm busy. Cody James says, love the content, Rico. Keep it up. ACC odds. He wrote it all out. Line. Okay, Maryland minus 14. Over under 49. Oh goodness. So who's Maryland playing? Maryland's playing Virginia, and they're a 14-point favorite. I stay away from that, but the over under is 49. I think I take the over. So Maryland versus Virginia, I take the over. Maryland's going to score on JMU. I'm sorry, on Virginia. If JMU scored, Maryland's going to score. So I think I take the over on that 49, but I stay away from that spread. FSU 27.5 over under 49 again against Boston College. Yeah. I can't even take the spread now that I think about it. I just take the under. I don't think Boston College is scoring all that much. I really don't. Louisville 9.5. Take it. Louisville's playing who again? I keep forgetting. Indiana. Yeah, you take it. Stay away from the over/under. Wake 14.61. Oh man. I'd take Wake 14 and take the under. Personally. Rico, I've watched all your AR5 videos. Who's AR5? Is that Anthony Richardson? No. AR5. Who's AR5? Aiden O'Connell? No. Who the hell is AR5? Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Curious why you think he has no chance to pan out. His lack of development through high school and college put him too far behind an elite quarterback. Who's AR5? Anybody tell me this? Did he mean to put 15? Did he mean to put... If you put 15, if you meant to talk about Anthony Richardson, bro, what development? He didn't get any development. He just keeps getting started. He gets starting positions. He doesn't have to compete with nobody. They just give it to him. Come on, dude. He's never had to compete for shit in his life. When you're the first pick, when you're a first-round pick, you're not fighting for a roster spot. They just give it to you. That's crazy talk. I'm rooting to see scenario of Duke going to Florida State undefeated. Elko and that program is among my favorite stories this year. What kind of reverberations would Duke victory cause in conference in the nation? Real sports history. I've been on Duke all off season. You guys have, if you watched the videos, I have the receipts to prove it. I love Duke a lot. I think they're great. I don't want to see them play Florida State. It's not good, but I'm excited for them. Absolutely heartbreaking for J.K. Dobbins. Dude's been battling knee injuries the past 2 years. Finally gets healthy and tears his Achilles. Yep, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the NFL. Anthony S. says, yeah, some women think they have to smoke to not hurt someone. What is going on? What is going on? I don't even know what that means. Leandro Ferreira says, Louisville versus Indiana, -10 favorites. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I like Louisville. I do. In that matchup, I like Louisville. Could be wrong, but I like Louisville. 10, give it to me. Pause. Do you think C.J. Stroud, holy smokes, chat just jumped on me. And we got 45 minutes left. Do you think C.J. Stroud will have another 200-plus yard game? I have no idea. I don't even know who he plays against. Actually, firstly is a word. Oh, I'm going to keep saying it. Today you posted a video about a gig school coach, about a high school coach reprimanding a player. Hey, calm down. Sorry about that, guys. Ash is really heated. Do you think that coach was correct in his approach to embarrass the player? So, D-Till, I was very clear. It was a 10-minute long video. Did you not watch my take? I gave my take in the video. Go watch the video. FSU knows the ACC. You mean owns? Gotcha. D-Till, did you listen to the video? Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. B. Arnold, just remember this is ACC talk. Ignore that. Andrew Lawley, shout out to you, Rico. I try and make all the lives every day, but I usually work 5 to 11. So I'll come back and watch this one later. You know, Lawley, we get 150, 190, 200 people in here watching, but we get 2,000 views after hours, guys. I'm not mad at you. There are 2,000 people out there watching these lives after we post them. Thank you to everybody who takes the time to watch them. Some guy told me, hey, Rico, you are my drive home from work every single day. Please don't ever miss a show. I listen to you driving home from work. You're my talk radio. That feels good, man. That's what we're here to do. I intend to be bigger than that, though. Dylan Perkins, who do you think wins the Pitt versus West Virginia game? The fans. I think West Virginia can win that game. Obviously, I'm not saying bet on it at all, but I think West Virginia has the ability to win that game. I'm not giving you guys betting advice or nothing. When I look at it matchups-wise, West Virginia has the ability to beat Pitt. And shout out to Pat Narduzzi for being a punk this offseason. Augustine Chavez says, Rico, how do you think Miami will do now after week 2? I think they'll beat Bethune-Cookman. That's as far as I look ahead. I look ahead 1 week. Chavez, I think they're good. I look ahead 1 week. Andrew Lawley says, do you think Mac Brown is an overrated head coach? This is an argument me and a buddy have all the time. So, no, I don't think he's overrated because where do people rate him? To be overrated, you have to have let's say you made a top 10 list. Is Mac Brown on your top 10 list of best coaches in America? No. So is he overrated? No. Where do you rate him? I rate him somewhere in the middle. What you're trying to say is people give him a lot of credit for being a national championship head coach. Mac Brown is great at recruiting. For whatever reason, every team he's at, he gets 5 stars. He gets great recruits. Think about this. Every time a team is struggling, and you guys ask me, hey, Rico, how can this team get back to prominence? Rico, what do we got to do to be relevant again? And the first thing out of my mouth is, get a 5-star quarterback. That's all you got to do. Michigan State, how do you get it back into the picture? Get a 5-star quarterback. Everybody get a 5-star. What does Wisconsin need to do, Rico? Get a 5-star quarterback. What does North Carolina always get? A really good quarterback. Sam Howell, now Drake May. They had Jacoby Criswell. He just transferred back home to Arkansas. But I'm telling you, they always get a good quarterback. So that's the part that Mac Brown does really well. And it's because he walks into living rooms and says, hey, I had Vince Young. I went out and got, Major Applewhite or whatever. So more power to him, but I don't think Mac Brown is overrated because I don't think very highly of him. Nobody's overrated to me. Everybody's right where I rate them, if you think about it from that perspective. Terry Rozier says, a.k.a. Hawks Daddy, Georgia Tech beats Ole Miss. Thoughts? I'm not even going to say they beat them, but I'm going to say they cover that spread. It's a 20-point spread. Yeah, give me Georgia Tech. These guys don't understand the transfer portal. Georgia Tech's transfer portal class, very impactful, makes them so much better. Haynes King has played against Ole Miss. Like this is something we're familiar with, right? Leading receiver, who is it? Is it Lane? The kid that transferred from A&M. I like Georgia Tech. I'm not sitting here. There's just no way. 20 points? I don't know. If I'm wrong, I can afford to be. But I think I'm right. The King. Rico, what you think about Cal, Stanford, and SMU joining the ACC? Talked about it before, but it is an ACC day, so let's talk about it. I think SMU would do anything. I think they're giving up 9 years of TV revenue. They would do anything to get to the Power 5. Congratulations. They're very good. They're going to have a great program, and they're going to do great things. Cal and Stanford, they're telling me they're going to play neutral games in Texas. So they're going to fly teams in Texas to meet there and play. That's pretty cool. That's a cost-saving measure. Everybody got to fly a little bit. That's a really neat idea if you think about it. We're going to call this the All-American Conference, the All-Coast Conference. Ooh, the ACC, the All-Coast Conference. I like it. So we got both coasts The American Coast Conference? Woo-hoo! We're getting there. The American Coast Conference. Just figured it out right now. I don't know if that's anywhere, if anybody coined it, but I'll take it. Shout out to me. But yeah, I'm excited for those teams. What do you think about Michael McCorkle-Jones? Don't know him? Cameron Sparks, I owe you an answer. Hit me back again, and I will look it up. I don't know Michael McCorkle-Jones. Happens every now and then. Matt says, was just here to listen today since it's an ACC day. So since your take NFL questions, do you think Evan Neal's future is at guard? He doesn't have the speed to deal with speed on the corner. I have not assessed Evan Neal's future. I apologize for the very, very specific NFL question. Anytime I see a tackle struggle with defensive ends, the knee-jerk reaction is, well, move him to guard. Well, how about you just get him off the damn field? Why are we assuming players are better at guard just because they're slower? There's some guards out there that can play. If you're not fast enough to deal with the defensive end, how are you fast enough to pull and lead on kickouts? Like, I just don't know. I think guards are more athletic than tackles, if you ask me. Every time I think of a guard, I think of somebody who can really get out and handle his business. Tackles just big stationary targets for me. Steve Talbot, yes, I listened to the video, but Rico did not provide his opinion. I'd like to know what Rico thinks about that high school coach. D. Till, are you kidding me? I provided my opinion for 10 minutes straight. Go watch the video. Quan, preach, big dog. King Footy says, damn, Rico, you're getting VIP Southern hospitality with food with Kim. I am. She's in the kitchen right now. She likes her island. She does her thing. She's always whipping up something that pops out of nowhere. Carter Harris says, I haven't even read a question Rico has read yet. I'm so confused. Well, I just read yours. Evan Kramer says he starts at the top of the chat and works his way down. I also give the chat a 30-minute head start, Carter Hare. That's what you guys don't understand. I let it build up while I talk and do my monologue for the beginning of the show. So for the first 35, 40 minutes, questions are just being thrown into the chat. If you're not here in the first 30 minutes, you're going to have a hard time getting your question answered. It's the truth. Married at 21, speak more about that. That's not common nowadays. Well, it didn't happen nowadays, Stro. I got married at 21, 20-something years ago. I got married at 21. I'll explain it to you guys. I'll break it down for you. I joined the Army. I'm a Mexican-American man from Southern California. Everybody I've ever known is Mexican. So when I joined the Army, a Mexican, Hispanic, white people and black people, obviously, but I'm just saying Hispanic-wise, I never met a Puerto Rican, a Dominican, a Honduran, an Ecuadorian. I never met any of that shit. I'm not from New York. I'm not from Florida. Never met a Cuban. I'm from Southern California. All we got is Mexicans. Mi gente, like my people are straight Mexicans. There's a reason I bring this up. So I joined the Army at 20 years old, and I get in a cab, and I share a cab with this girl. She's Puerto Rican and Dominican from the Bronx, New York, and she talks real funny. She talks like a New Yorker. All men's is liars. You know, that kind of shit. She did some crazy stuff. But I sat in there and I thought, man, this girl's beautiful. Now, little did I know she really wasn't my type. She hated sports. She actually hated Mexicans. That was weird. She didn't like the Army. She didn't like video games. She didn't like sports. She didn't like working out. She didn't like anything I liked. We had nothing in common, but I thought she was pretty. And after a while, I realized I wasn't even attracted to her because she's really skinny, and I don't like skinny girls. But she looked pretty. Like, she looked in the face pretty. She was presentable. It's the mother of my 4 kids. We were married for 10 years. Wish that upon no one. Shout out to her. That's about it. Got divorced at 30. Got remarried at 35. Married a completely different opposite kind of girl. Married a white woman. Thicker than a Snicker. And she turned out to be a terrible human being. So I got out of that one too. Been divorced for a couple years now. I'm feeling pretty good. Lived a lot of life. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for asking. Getting married at 21 is weird. Getting married at 21 is like meeting somebody and saying, I bet you we're going to mature at the same rate. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with commitment and all that stuff. It's like saying, I bet you and I are going to grow together and mature at the same rate. And we're going to achieve greatness and success at the same echelon and level together. And that never happens. One of you outgrows the other. One of you becomes more successful. One of you becomes more mature or maybe ready for life. And we always say, well, he wasn't ready for marriage. He kept cheating. They always label it like these different things of what they're doing. Oh, the conduct. Oh, he wasn't prepared for this, or she wasn't ready for this, or he wasn't ready for kids. It's all about maturity. And do you mature at the same rate? And if you don't mature at the same rate, one of you starts to resent one another. Things go wrong. You get different groups of friends. You get different circles of friends, different social circles. Whole lot of shit goes wrong. Or you can be like the majority of America and stay married and be unhappy. I know plenty of married people who hate their spouse. I know plenty of married people who are married for the wrong reasons. Right? They're just together because they got kids. They got a mortgage. It works financially. I'll never bat an eye at that shit. That shit don't even move me, bro. I couldn't be with somebody who doesn't love sports. Not because we want to raise the kids together. No, your kids deserve to see you happy. Deserve to see you in a nice relationship. So, yeah, you bite the bullet and say, fuck it. Like, okay, I guess I'm not going to have this beautiful home I live in. Let's sell this damn thing, and I'll go live in some apartments for a while until I figure life out. And that's exactly what I experienced in my life. I just kind of I'm not going to subject myself to failure. I'm not going to subject myself to not being happy. So now I got a girl. She's sitting right here. We met a lot later in life. She's a damn sports nut. She's a junkie. She watches all my shows, all my lives. She tells me when games are on and I forget. I ain't never had this shit in my life. It's amazing. And before the show, you know what she was out doing? Running. She went and ran the neighborhood while I was in here working on the show. She's like, babe, I got to go for a jog before the show. I'm like, damn. This girl's got her priorities straight. It's just a different animal. And you don't find that in a cab at 20 years old. Cab at 20 years old, you find a piece of ass and you go, man, that girl's fine as hell. Let me do that. You see all those guys. You see all those guys on these apps. You seen the comment section. Anytime there's a thirst trap, dude's like, I don't wifey that. That's all me. Yeah, until it's your wife and then it's out there for everybody else. She don't belong to you, bro. She belongs to the streets. Like, you won't wifey that. Who I'm going to wifey ain't nowhere on the damn app. Who I'm going to wifey ain't out there like that. It's a whole different story. But anyways, shout out to my first ex-wife. Jordan Travis, question, what do you think his ceiling is in the NFL? I haven't assessed NFL ceilings, Chad. Thanks for the question, though. I don't typically assess NFL until after they declare for the draft. I just let the kids play. Let them play football, watch them play every single week. I know what their talent is. I got it. But NFL values talent way different. And then I don't evaluate their tape for NFL potential until they declare. Please. I watch the games, but I'm not sitting there seeing, did he make the right read? Did he do this? Did he do that? I do that after the season. When's the last time Boston College actually won something meaningful? Seth, I'd have to look it up, but they've been 7-6 for 5 years in a row before under Adazio, their former head coach. He got fired after going 6-6 here. That's why going 3-9 is crazy. But I'm sure they won a bowl game multiple times. If you mean win anything else other than that, like be like a national title contender, man, or a conference contender, I don't remember. It's news to me. Was Matt Ryan there? Was it before Matt Ryan? Do I have to go back to William Green, the running back? The bust? I don't remember. I mean, it's in there. It's in the Rolodex somewhere. Dylan Howard says, Wake Forest and Old Dominion, your thoughts? I think Wake Forest is going to beat them. It's 14 points. It's tough. Old Dominion looked great this week for some reason. They looked really improved. I didn't expect that. They won their game. I didn't expect that. I think Old Dominion's cupboard is very bare. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost Blake Watson, back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher. Like, they lost everything, and they're still there somehow, some way. They lost 3 guys through the NFL draft, the most players drafted from a group of 5 team. It's nuts. But Wake Forest looks solid. They really do. Will Northwestern even score a point against Duke? Yeah. I mean, they can. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. I got Duke all day, though. Duke's going to beat them worse than Rutgers did. Remember that. Real Cowboy says, how does this FSU team compare to 2013? Very different teams, but I think this FSU team is one of the best in the country. So they're very comparable in their desired end state. David, you think the FSU quarterback is going for 300-plus yards on Boston College? I wouldn't go there. I don't think so. I think Boston College has really good defensive back, a really good defensive scheme. Like I said, Helfrey is a defensive backs coach and guru. Helfrey is all about defensive backs and stopping the pass. I think they'll have that figured out. Obviously, the wide receivers can get the yak and get it done, but I wouldn't be betting on prop bets like that. I don't do that. I don't do prop bets. I'm not that guy. That doesn't sound right to me. Thoughts on the Rutgers game win? Rutgers is Big Ten. That's a talk for tomorrow. Thanks for asking. Can anyone else picture Kim Jones chuckling off camera while Rico is talking about 20 for 20? Oh, me hitting 20 for 20 in the club? Kim Jones has seen me in the nightclub before as I'm dancing. Women just start, for whatever reason, just start walking up to me in groups. I'm not even trying to talk to them. You can ask her. She was there. She saw it firsthand. How'd you feel about it, sweetie? She's like, whatever. It didn't bother her. I wasn't interested in a damn one of them. So to confirm, your top 3 right now is FSU, USC, and Texas. No, that is not my top 3. Go look at my top 25 video. I just posted it today. Of course, I spelled Ash right this time. I learned the first time, and I'm detail-oriented. Damn, detail-oriented should be hyphenated. Plus, I like dogs more than most humans. Facts. I see the profile pic. ACC on top. Mondays are the best days. Shout out to Nate at night. No one thinks Monday's great. Everyone hates Monday. First day of the week. J-Lo says, great matchup coming up with North Carolina, Minnesota. Yep. How well do you think the Hills can hold up to that physical pounding they're going to face? Is there a key matchup I should pay attention to? There is. When you look at Minnesota, let me pull it up here. When you look at Minnesota, Minnesota discovered something today. I just made a video about it, and they just discovered this weekend. Minnesota's had this running back on their roster for a couple of months now. Check this out. Sean Tyler, Western Michigan transfer. Sean Tyler is a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher. He is the gem of their transfer portal class. Sean Tyler is everything to Minnesota. And out of nowhere, Darius Taylor got every carry in the second half. Darius Taylor, a true freshman, showed up and took the position. And I think Darius Taylor is the future at Minnesota. This guy got 33 carries, 193 yards, a touchdown. But I'm telling you, Darius Taylor, go watch the video I just posted on him today. This is a hidden gem. He's next up. Darius Taylor is going to be the problem. Nobody saw this coming. Nebraska did not see Darius Taylor. Darius Taylor's the newest thing. True freshman running back. He was a 3 to 4 star player, depending on where you go. Coming out of high school, out of Michigan. He had an offer from the Michigan Wolverines. He turned it down and said, no, I want to go be the next Mo Ibrahim. I want to go over here and run and play for PJ. And that's what he's doing. So he's a beast. I'm excited about that matchup. North Carolina has not stopped anything, but at least they couldn't stop it against App State. So there you go. Got a super chat. Shout out to Alex Whiteleather. Sent in the $5 super chat. He said, thoughts on Brent Key. Does Georgia Tech have infrastructure to be an upper half ACC squad while also living in UGA's shadow? No winning season since 2018. So, I talked about Brent Key all offseason. I did. I love Brent Key and what he's doing. If you guys don't know, Brent Key is the former offensive line coach for Alabama, now head coach for Georgia Tech. And the way he got the job was he was an interim coach. And he just did so well. I think he finished the season 4-2 down the stretch, or 4-4. I'm sorry, and it just gave them a lot of hope. Now, what Georgia Tech did in the transfer portal gave me a lot of hope that they're going to be better. That first game against Louisville, they looked great. I still believe in Georgia Tech. Obviously, winning this last week, but for me, do they have the infrastructure to be great? Man, they got Chris Winkie in the quarterback room. Chris Winkie's the quarterback's coach. You know how many recruiting battles and transfer portal battles they're winning because of that? I'm so impressed with what they're doing. Georgia Tech looks great. There's an upgrade in talent. Can they be in the upper echelon of the ACC? That sounds a bit much, but obviously that's the goal. But I'll show you guys something. Here it is. Brent Key was my 7th ranked new hire of all head coaches, and I have Georgia Tech before the season going 6-6. That 6 number there, I have Georgia Tech winning 6 games. Well, if everybody didn't know, you go 6-6, you end up in a bowl game. So you're either going 7-6 or 6-7. So we'll see how that lines up. But I really like Brent Key and what he's doing. I think he has the infrastructure. I think he has the ability to be a great coach. I love the question. Thank you. Yeah, I believe in Georgia Tech. I'm pulling for him. I live in Georgia right now. Lived here 8 years now. I know a lot of the players on that team. And I saw those kids play in high school. I love the fact that Georgia Tech recruits within the state. Georgia stopped recruiting within the state for the most part. They went national. They started getting players from everywhere else. and Alabama and Clemson cleaned house in the state. Still, Georgia Tech's down an echelon below, but as long as they're getting the players before Georgia Southern, Georgia State, like that's where they need to be. They need to be in that little, in the ranking file or the totem pole. They need to be just behind, Georgia, but not losing all the players to Alabama and Clemson, but they have been. I think they're comparable to South Carolina. I really do. I like what they're doing. My bad. Get back to the chat here. It jumped on me. Boom, boom, boom. Please sit tight, guys. We got 23 minutes left. Will North. Where did it go? Where was I? I wish Virginia Tech would finally get good. Nate at Night. Every program feels that way. What's your conference schedule? I don't understand. My conference schedule, there's a posted video on TikTok at the very top. Go click on it. It's the one on the far right. It'll tell you my conference schedule. Michigan State fan here. All the news and Keon Coleman being a freak of nature pains me. Yeah, it's not the ACC, but I hear you're in pain. How do you feel about Duke versus Northwestern game at 18.5? I like Duke. I like Duke a lot. I like Duke. That's how I feel. Nate at Night says, Miami home games are a snooze fest. Yeah. Okay. I don't feel that way, but I hear you. You guys don't know snooze fest. Ask him. I watch some boring shit sometimes. I watch stuff that nobody would watch. I'm that guy. You want snooze fest? I just watched the Hateful Eight today. All 4 parts. And I've seen it before. Where he reading these questions from? Bryant, I'm reading them from you, bro. Chat, it's a little behind. I go really slow. Thoughts on Virginia Tech playing Grant Wells 58 minutes just to put Kyron Drones in for the final 2 and attempt to win? Kyron Drones is not better than Grant Wells. I already talked about this at length. Please rewind the show. Go watch every show I've ever made about the ACC. Chris Liva says, do you think it would have made a difference if Chris Jones played against the Lions? Does Chris Jones catch passes? The hell? Chris Jones is not a receiver. Is he going to catch all those passes for Tony? Nah. Nate at Night says, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Shout out to you. Tyler McNamee says, no, not going to lie. No clue what video was made about Miami. Just think something on campus at maybe UCF size would create the old school Orange Bowl environment. Yeah, there's a bunch of videos about it, but I hear you, Tyler. Agree. Trace Hoffman, why coverage over NFL in your opinion? Why college over NFL? The fan base, my expertise, I enjoy college far more than NFL. I find NFL coverage toxic. I don't like it at all. It even bothers me just to talk about it right now. Anthony Basso says, why are these questions not in this chat? Anthony, they're in this chat. I see it just clear as day. You got here late. You're not here part of the show. Anthony, they are in the chat. He starts at the top and works his way down. Thank you very much, Sam. You think Florida State can keep this up and win the ACC? Yep. In the past, with Bobby Bowden, they would have great teams and lose in a trap game. Well, you're not losing in a trap game. You're losing to a team trying to beat you. That's all there is to it. You're playing a different team every week. They're trying to beat you just as much as you're trying to beat them. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. All the cliches are there. Tyler McNamee. Ultimately, players win you games, not stadiums. But what teams in modern college football have ever succeeded in a pro stadium? Obviously, limited sample size of these teams. I don't think the stadium matters. Bryant, Rodgers and the Jets aren't winning shit this year, and I wish their fans and other people would stop acting like they're going to. Okay, Bryant. William Darnell, you said the other day that Klubnik is an NFL quarterback. I'm not seeing very much. That's impressive. William Darnell, how many quarterbacks have you assessed with NFL talent? Like, how many guys have you assessed and said, this guy's going to make it in the NFL or not? I need to know, William Darnell. Do you do this for a living? I got to know. Because what you're doing is watching fandom. Like, you're watching him, and you're going, I don't see much. But is it because the receivers don't get any separation? Like, does he have any NFL receivers? Or is it because his offensive coordinator doesn't know how to call a play? Like, what are you assessing? Because I know what I'm assessing. Arm strength, velocity, understanding of angles and concepts. Managing the game, getting the playoff without a play clock issue. Like, playing the NFL position at quarterback. Guys, you know how hard it is to play quarterback? There's 32 NFL teams. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks on the planet Earth. And 12 of them aren't good. There's only 20 people on this entire planet that can do that job. So trying to identify somebody that can do that job is very difficult. I like my track record. I want to know yours. Can't wait for your lock videos to come out. Thank you, Anthony. You can wait. You can wait. Everybody can wait. Mr. Doodle says Boston College is going to win. Get out of here. What happened to Dre Bly? Dre Bly got hired by the Lions. Bruce is Howard. He got hired by the Lions, so he moved up to the NFL. Tony Lawrence, Rico, you are the man. I wasn't positive to bet on Colorado versus TCU, but you said go for it, and as usual, you were right. I don't usually bet, but I need money for an engagement ring. $4,000. Tony Lawrence, don't get an engagement ring. You don't need one, bro. You don't need one. I got my girl sitting right here. She ain't got no ring on. That shit is right here, bro. Ain't nobody can take her. You don't need no ring. That's some antiquated bullshit. Go get a ring made of onyx. Antiquated, but that's just some made-up bullshit, bro. You don't need to be spending no money on jewelry. Did you do your ACC weekly rankings? I don't do ACC weekly rankings, Sam Walker. I just go over the teams, rewind the show. UVA, Maryland, old ACC rivalry. Yeah, give me Maryland. That means 2 touchdowns, guys. I didn't say give me Maryland. That's too much. Did I say Maryland? I said give me the over. Give me the over. Give me the over and Maryland, maybe. Maybe. I like the over. Thoughts on 49ers defense and also Purdy? They look good. They both look good. They dominated. That's all I can really say about it. Purdy looked good, and they dominated. Rico, my brother, I appreciate you. Much love and respect. Shout out to you, Tony Lawrence. Don't be spending $4,000 on a ring, bro. Will Maryland 14.5 cover the spread against Virginia? It doesn't sound ideal. 14.5 means 2 touchdowns and another score. Like, that just doesn't sound good for me. You could take the 14.5. You guys can buy down points, buy down a point. Knock it down to 13.5. That's what I would do. Because that's different. That's another possession, right? So if you guys ever see a half a point and it's above a touchdown, go under a touchdown. So that's what I would do. But I would stay away from it. I don't bet on everything. That's why I always hit. Come on, peeps. Hit the like button. Thank you. Congrats on retirement, Rico. I'm close, Tyler. They'll let me know. Is Ole Miss 21 points better than Georgia Tech this weekend? Not at all. Not to me, Jake. Nope. Not. That's not how I feel. What do you think about Ole Miss, Georgia Tech over under at 63? I don't like it. I just don't want to touch it. I just know that Ole Miss is not going to blow them out like that. That's how I feel. Just keeping it real. Keeping it real, that's how I feel. I didn't mean to rhyme. It's a bad time. She's a dime. Yours is a dime -9. Sorry, chat jumped. Got to catch back up. Aguiar is good or UNC's defense is average? Aguiar is him. So Aguiar played great. App State quarterback. He played well, but I don't think he's that good. I just don't. I think UNC's secondary is that bad. That's how I really feel. From my assessment of the transfer portal and what left and what came in, that's how it goes. Have you mentioned Pitt? I have, Willie Bobo. They lost their game. Their quarterback sucks. 10 for 31, Phil Jerkovich. Although he threw 3 touchdowns, don't let it fool you. He's very inaccurate. He's all over the place, and I hope West Virginia exposes him. How good is Van Dyke from Miami? My boys keep telling me he's him. Well, he did really well. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. His receivers are good. His receivers are very good. So he's got a nice receiving core. They're always going to be on a short field. Their secondary's top-notch, man. Going to give them opportunities. I like Van Dyke. I never said that before, but I liked him this week. They're going to look good this week against Bethune-Cookman. Don't worry about that. Anthony Richardson wears number 5. Oh, so AR5. Okay, AR-15, AR-5. Yeah, he's never been developed, man. I can't deal with that. Get out of here. The smoke comment was for that lady you dated and smokes the – oh, my bad, Chris. Thank you for being very specific. When you guys write something, you got to be that specific by the time I get to it. Yeah, that lady was trying to smoke all the damn time. She was annoying. Josh Kuhn, FSU will cover the points by themselves. I don't think so. I think that's crazy. I think they'll pull the starters out before they do. What will Louisville throw at Indiana that the Hoosiers haven't already seen from their game with OSU? By the way, Louisville-IU is a rivalry game. There you go. Well, Louisville has Jeff Brom. He's far superior at strategizing passing. So Jeff Brom is very familiar with Indiana. Remember, he's the former Purdue coach. So that in itself, a level of familiarity that you just can't be duplicated. This is not ACC versus Big Ten. This is Jeff Brom playing against a team he already knows how to play against, coaching against a team he already knows how to coach against. So I feel comfortable with what Louisville does. His name is Jamari Thrash. And I know you think Ohio State's wide receivers are great, but the reality is Jack Plummer can throw, man. Jack Plummer's going to get this ball to who he needs to get it to. I like Louisville's offense. It's explosive. It's a run and gun. They're going to throw it everywhere. Look at Purdue last year. Syracuse versus Purdue, my take. Rewind the show. I think I already talked about it. What day for Pac-12 analysis? Friday, Jake Reiner, Friday. But all there that many five-star quarterbacks? There aren't. You got to get one. There aren't a lot of five-star quarterbacks. You got to get one. Got to convince one of them to go to you. Every year there's only about 3 or 4. This year there was 6. It's a little absurd. Have you watched any tape on Ondale High in Kansas? They have the longest win streak in the nation. So they're all over my inbox. People telling me to make a video on this. There's another school in Kentucky as well. I don't necessarily watch tape on them. No, I don't. I know of them. I haven't watched any tape on them. I'm very aware. Hey, Rico, what are you thinking of moving? Where are you thinking of moving into Texas? Trent, we're moving into San Antonio. That's where we're like 100% sure. Morant's Rants, my twin brother, says the champ is here. Steve Talbot says, Clever Dude is asking about Mac Jones. Clever Dude is asking about Mac Jones. Mac Jones played great. Shout out to him. Michael McCorkle Jones is Mac Jones. Oh, okay. Michael McCorkle Jones. I don't know who that is. Oh, love it. Love it. Michael McCorkle Jones is Mac Jones. He played good. Played good. He really did. He put up a bunch of numbers. Didn't win the game, but he put up a bunch of numbers. Ty Turner. Love the content, Rico. Thank you, man. I love the support. Rico, you are a closeted Cowboys fan. Zatox, no. What I am is I am gifted Cowboys attire by my family constantly. My mother, my father, they will send me a Cowboys hoodie. I don't have any jerseys, but they'll send me like stuff. You know, I'm not a fan of any team. I watch all the teams. I'm a fan of players. I always have been. I'm a fan of coaches and players on their journey, and that's it. I'm a fan of Team Rico. But yeah, people will see me and go, "Oh, like I own 3 shirts with college teams. They're LSU, South Carolina, and Georgia. All SEC shirts. Do you guys think I like the SEC? Anybody? How about you, sweetie? You think I love the SEC? You think I love the SEC? She's so foolish. She's so full of it. Facts. John Reiner, Friday for Pac-12. Thank you very much. Rico, how do you feel about FSU 26.5 over Boston College? It sounds reasonable. It sounds like it's doable. Make the Lenora Sellers video. I already did make a video last week, Jack Harrington. I made the video. Shane Beamer saw my video and put Sellers in the game because he watched my tape. Shane Beamer follows the channel. They said, oh, shit, we got to get this guy in. He's amazing. Rico's right. Was talking about Richardson 5 in the NFL. I guess the better question would be, is his inability to develop on his own just put him in an impossible situation to succeed this late in his quarterback life? So Tyler McNamee, it's I've talked about this. It's innate. You know what innate means? It means you're born with it. Like you have the ability to do something naturally. There are guys who can't catch punts. There are baseball players who can't catch pop flies because they can't read the ball coming off of the bat. And they can't run down a pop fly. You ever seen a kid run up and then all of a sudden he misread it and now he's backpedaling and he falls? You see it all the time in softball. People just can't read shit with their eyeballs, right? Anthony Richardson cannot complete a deep pass consistently because his innate ability is not to be accurate. Like, it's just not. His mechanisms, his mechanics, they can coach him, and every now and then he'll get one in there and he'll get it right. But naturally, once he gets fatigued and things start going, he just cannot get it. This is why he has a low completion percentage. This is why he's never completed more than 55% of his passes. He's at 53% in his life because he cannot naturally throw the football to someone else. He also throws a very uncatchable ball. Now, this first game, they protected him. Bunch of screens, kept it short, kept it simple. They're going to have to do that over and over and over. Because the minute he tries to open up and he relies on his natural athleticism to extend plays, he doesn't have it in him. There are quarterbacks like this. They're everywhere. They look good. They throw a nice ball here and there, but then they're going to just miss out of nowhere. And when you miss, it's an interception. It's a turnover. It's not just an incompletion. Then there's people who just can naturally complete passes. Very accurate. Right? That's Mahomes and them boys. They're high-volume passers. If you're not a high-volume passer, if you didn't do it in college so much that it becomes muscle memory for you, you're never going to be there. You're not getting there. Richardson's a more athletic Tebow. That's what he is. He's no Byron Leftwich. Just keeping it real. 0 for 2, third one's a charm. Don't try and hit a home run, bunt the ball. Yoda, I'm good. 0 for 2, I got hit by the ball. I'm good. I took first base. Married 16 years and still killing it. Dallas wins. We celebrate. Yeah, it's pretty gross. I'm 8th in the group. Okay. Morant's Rants. Cowboys 17-0 is coming. Number 1 defense, period. Okay. Do you think Garrett Schrader's good? Yes, I do, Aiden. I think he is. I thought it this offseason. What really lets me know how great Garrett Schrader is, couple things. Carlos Del Rio Wilson transferring in from Florida was supposed to be a threat to the starting position. Not a chance. Handed up third string. Lamson playing his ass off this spring. Couldn't even break. Nobody ever threatened to take Schrader's spot. And Lamson played great. Now, he transferred to Stanford. And he just got starter reps this week against USC. So, you got guys sitting the bench behind you that can't even compete with you because you're so damn good. Schrader's him. And he's one of the ACC's leading rushers as a quarterback. Just freaking nuts. I like Schrader a lot. I do. I think he's senior, experienced. It's good. They need better receivers, but they got what they got. They got to rock with what they got. I wish they had Sean Tucker this year. Thoughts on Brent Keys? I already talked about it. He's great. Seth, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Seth says, Matt Corral has left the Patriots unexpectedly. Yeah, I saw that. I'm going to make a video about it. It sucks, man. I don't like when players have to leave unexpectedly, or maybe they got bad news, or things didn't go their way. They're mentally falling apart, whatever it is. It's just not good. Young kids. Life is long. Life is hard. All you guys thinking life's going to go a certain way, it's hard. Jeff says, new listener, much respect on all the info. Shout out to you, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Willie Bobo says, thanks, guys. Rico gets to eat tonight. Yep, I got 6 minutes. Oh, for the tip? Yeah, I get to eat because of the tip. 6 minutes, show's over. I thought you lived in Texas. I once did, Chris, but I don't anymore. Thoughts on Florida State? Rewind the show. Rico, I'm 36-23 against the spread. 16.42 under. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of this means. Jets and the under tonight. Oh, okay. Well, then take it. Remember me. I won't, but shout out to you, EH. Diego Hernandez, do you think Maryland will cover the spread against Virginia, 14.5? I think you should buy down the point, but I think I like the over on that. Tony needs help. LMAO, Tony needs help. Thank you. Tell him, Rico, you don't need a ring. Yeah, you don't need a ring. That's what they're telling me. Yeah, not at all. Don't buy down points. There we go. EH is a gambler. Listen to him. Don't listen to me. Thanks, Rico, Kim, and everyone that joined tonight. Your support is appreciated. I'm about 25 minutes behind, so I don't know if you're still live, but I just wanted to say I appreciate you, Rico. Break in. You made it on the show, bruh. I'm still live. Thank you. If you ever get to the show late and you got to start it from the beginning, just put it at 1.25 speed. You'll catch up. 1.5 speed. You'll always catch up, guys. What's your ACC lock of the week? I want to slam $100 on what Rico knows. Diego Hernandez. My lock of the week? Oh, boy. If I have to be straight and look at this and give you guys a lock of the week, my lock of the week is Duke at home covering the spread against Northwestern. Or Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's going to be a lock as well. So Georgia Tech covering the spread against Ole Miss on the road. But the first one that comes to mind is Duke blowing out Northwestern. That feels like a lock of the week as well. So those are my 2 locks of the week. I would go with Duke first primarily. You got $100, throw it on Duke, man. Duke to beat Northwestern by the spread. Duke over Northwestern, he said, for ACC lock. Oh, there you go, Ty Turner. It sounds like it. Thanks, Ty. Did he say money line, spread, or what? Yeah, money line and spread. I know overreaction, but could Duke win the ACC? Yeah, they play in it. They play in the ACC. They can win it. Rico, you'll love San Antonio. I'm a Navy guy, and our corpsmen train there. Awesome city. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Never lived there. I was at TDY at Fort Hood for about 2 months. I do a lot of cyber work, so I go to cities for a couple weeks, couple months at a time. Always have a good time, but I'm living in a hotel, eating restaurants. We might do the same thing when we get out there. No, I want to buy a house out there. Been looking at some new construction homes. That's what we're gonna do. Go buy a new house and sell this one and keep it moving. Do you have a Jerry Jones shirt? No, I do not. Diego, he was just real positive about Duke winning. Yeah. Yo, Unc, that Rico Knows blanket is fire. Go check the website, ricoknows.org. We got a nice throw blanket for your living rooms, y'all. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Want to see a dead body? We got everything. Hey, Rico, can you talk about Duke Lock again? Had to step out and make the kids dinner, so I missed it. Yeah, Diego Hernandez, I think Duke's too good. Duke's great. They're going to beat Northwestern worse than Rutgers did. It's going to be at home for Duke. Give me Duke. Give me Riley Leonard to just run all over them. Duke's defense is too fast for Northwestern to even score. Give me Duke to cover the spread and win, obviously. Appreciate the great responses as always. Shout out to you, Tyler McNamee. Thank you guys for the support. Trent, I'm a San Antonio native and I still live here. Great decision for you and Kim. Yeah, cost of living looks great. No taxes on my retirement. I'm pretty pumped. Toasty says, Rico, thanks for your insight on all the games. Love the content. Got some crying faces. Are you Morant's Rants? Dusty Guy. I am not Morant's Rants. Big Ten tomorrow. I'm prepared for the MSU slander. Trade Darion Walker says, I missed it. Did you choose the Jets or the Bills? I don't choose NFL games, but thank you for asking. You didn't miss anything. I do not even worry about the NFL. I try not to watch any of the NFL games. I'm busy watching Group of 5 on Sunday, and on Monday I'm watching ACC. I'm going to go back and rewatch some other stuff. I'm focused on me, my content, and my expertise, not worried about NFL crybabies and what they do on the field. NFL games are so random. Anybody betting on them is guessing, and you're just hoping the professionals show up that week and play. Can't do it. Rico, you the man, hammered that money line and spread on Duke. Good luck, Diego. Do your thing. How badly does Rutgers beat Virginia Tech? I think it's a coin toss, if I'm being real. I hope it's good, though. I hope Rutgers wins big because I like Greg Schiano, but I think it's a coin toss. Once again, guys, thank you to all the people that are here, the hundreds of people that stayed, everybody who watched. Please hit that like button on the way out. You guys have a blessed day. Just remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.
For my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the